So we are very conscious parents, meaning I don't boss my children around. I guide my children. They lead the way. Because I go from the school of thought that my kids are organically who God made them to be before I made them.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Dads on Purpose, the podcast. I'm your host, as always, Josh Ashford. Man, I got the big homie, KB. How you doing, man?
What's up, baby? We love! Let's go, let's go, let's go!
You know we're not live. This is pre-recorded, right?
Hey, man, we live right now. Every time they hit that recording, we are live. So let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. Y'all, look, this is, what's this episode? I don't know which episode this is going to be, but whatever episode it is, it's still funny to me every time, like Kev just come in. What's up, baby? Come on, baby. No. Yo, we got the homie, man, Josh, melanated daddy in here. Josh, how you doing, man?
You know what? God is good, man. I can't complain.
All the time. Man. Don't start it and don't finish it.
I'm blessed and highly favored. I am loved and loving love. I'm all those things.
First, giving honor to God, Pastor, Deacon Reverend.
It's even better. So it's a free weekend for me. I'm chilling. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Yo, if you're gonna do the church greeting, you got to do the whole thing, man. You can't.
I'll remember that for next time. Because
next time we have you on here, I want the whole thing.
I'll say God is good, but then you got to come with the all the time.
All the time, but you want to
all the time, and then I got you. We'll do that. I got you. That will be the greeting next time.
Bad. Yo, man, this is. We ain't gonna get nothing done. I love it, man. I love it. Man, I was telling you guys before we came on here, like, yo, we don't script this, and that's what I love about it, man. Because it's just y'all get the raw, uncut. I don't edit nothing. Like I edit the beginning and the ending, and so if your mic go out, your mic go out. If you start cussing, we gonna have a conversation. Because my grandma watched this, so pass on them. Watch this. But man, but that's what fatherhood is, man. Like, there's no. I think people try to sugarcoat too much stuff, man. And when you're talking about being a father and we're not gonna get into this, but being a Black father, man, we don't need no more sugarcoating. Like, let us know what's real.
Exactly.
And so that's really where I want to start with today. Man, just talking about fatherhood. I know, Josh, you and your wife, you guys are, you got the podcast yourself. Mm-hmm. If you want to plug that, you can, but give me a second. But I want to talk about fatherhood, and how we keep going when it's not good. Mm-hmm. And by what I mean when it's not good, I mean when your kids ain't acting right, when you and wifey ain't vibing, you know what I mean? Like because I feel like that's a question that really needs to be talked about, because so many people want to talk about, oh, fatherhood is great, fatherhood over everything, which I do believe, but we still need some answers, right?
Right.
And so I think let's start there. Like, Josh, like how do you keep going? Because you got like 18 kids.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You got a lot. So I'm positive every day somebody's doing something that they don't need to be doing, but you still need to come correct. You feel me? Every
second of every day, one of my tribe has gotten into something.
Hey.
Right? And it's just what it is. I think for me, and I'm going to give you two answers, because part of me is a spiritual being and the other part of me is just me, natural.
Come on, preacher.
I'm not at the pulpit today, so we're not preaching there. Okay? Not today.
Say it again, Pastor. Say it again.
On Sunday, maybe, not today, okay?
Not today.
I think, first off, once you realize what your purpose is, those moments don't bother you as much. And then let me expound.
Yeah, I'm about to say expound on that one.
When I married my wife asked me 1,000,007 times, Josh, why me? And Josh, what about me? And then I said, baby, I don't mean no harm. I love you. Our purpose supersedes all that fairy tale stuff. Mm-hmm. The people will affect with our movements. The way we've created a revolutionary Black home, like the stuff that God has done through our purpose is why I'm here. I love you, but at the same token, love is an emotion. It comes and it goes. So let's de-romanticize this thing and let's stand on principle. Our foundation is purpose. So as soon as you got your purpose in line, you realize that these moments of chaos in these small pockets of moment, or for me, more frequent pockets of moments,
the regularity of chaos.
Yes, you realize that these moments are all due to your purpose, right? So we are very conscious parents, meaning I don't boss my children around. I guide my children. They lead the way. Because I go from the school of thought that my kids are organically who God made them to be before I made them, right? My children are who God wants them to be now. Yeah. Let them lead me on what they need to do and how they need to get there, and I'll help guide them through the speed bumps and the rough patches that this life will bring organically. So when you realize that we're not bosses, we're not tyrants. We're guides. I'm your tour guide until you turn 18. And even after that, you still got to call me. Hey, Daddy, I got you. Let me guide you.
Yo, was it always like that for you, though? Because especially in our community, we have this perception that we have that do as I say, not as, you know what I'm saying? Ken brought it up on a podcast before. Like, it's like, yo, you're going to do what I said. You know what I mean?
For me, and I got to be real, I can't lie to y'all, I'm an Army vet. So do as I say, not as I do, that was my mantra.
Yeah.
When I made babies, like, this is what you gonna do.
Yeah.
My oldest bonus baby, Marley, who's right here around the corner, peeking her head and listening, right? Marley was the one who challenged that thinking. And it was simply because, Daddy, you can't boss me. I'm going to do what I want to do. So let's figure out how we can make this work. Because what you're not going to do is tell me how to move in the way that my daughter often tells me, Daddy, my body just told me to move, so I move.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Go move, dude. And what can you say to that, right? You're telling me organically at 7 years old what your body just told you to do.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, we had a parent-teacher conference, and my daughter had to have a standing desk in her classroom because her body told her to move. We now know that it's been classified as ADHD. Get it? Yeah. But in that moment, right, I couldn't even be upset. Why? Yeah. Because you advocated for yourself and you told me, Daddy, this is what it is. I gotta move right now, and I wanted to be so mad, y'all. Like, and I'm sitting there like, wait. And I got home after parent teacher conference with my wife, and she was like, "What did y'all talk about in the car?" I was like, "Nothing," because my daughter advocated perfectly and told me my body needed to move. Guess what?
Yeah.
I have nothing for you. Move.
Right. I need Kev want to jump in here. Kev want to get in here. He didn't stop taking notes.
Because it's good, because I think I've heard so much about like being a father. And I think one of the things that I'm hearing, so, you know, we've gotten a bad rep as Black men being Black fathers. And now just hearing a platform of men being able to come into being fathers and accepting the role of what fatherhood means to them is one of the things that I'm learning about all throughout the clubhouses, the Instagram, the Facebooks, and all the men that stepping up. It's like, man, how do I do this thing? Even with girl dads, like I'm listening to the girl dads, I'm like, man, it's the same way you would be a father to a boy. It's the same thing. There's no difference. They need love, you know, support, attention, all the same things. But one of the things,
there's slight differences, right? And I have a son too.
Yeah, yes. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But one of the things that I really want you to expound on is the purpose of a father, because I think sometimes when we think about fatherhood is never defined, right? And so that's why I started my teen fatherhood program, because one of the things I realized as a father was there were no books about how to be a father. There weren't no men talking about how to be a father. And so what I decided was that now I have to start defining what fatherhood means to me, and then help my teen boys, right? We're talking about young men start defining what fatherhood and what that role means to them. So how does a man find his purpose as a father?
That is a beautiful question, by the way.
That is eloquent.
Very, right? For me, and I can only speak from honesty, right? I'm adopted. So I didn't have a man around to call out the man in me. I was raised by a single mother who adopted me. And yes, she did some toxic masculinity things and blah, blah, blah. But my mama did the best she could in the circumstance. And I'm learning to give her grace in that. Because for so long, it bothered me that my mama treated me the way she did after you adopted me. Like, you could have left me where I was if that's what you was going to do. But I have to realize and give her grace that you only move how you know how to move, right? Yeah. But my mama treated me how she did, defined fatherhood for me. Fatherhood for me was the complete opposite of what my mama did to me, right? So for me, it was you don't speak until you're spoken to. It is you're better seen and not heard versus heard and seen. Like my mama preached that stuff, right? Or you're only as good as how much money you bring into. And I said, wait, I need to redefine things for myself. So that my kids don't have to unpack this garbage that I had to unpack. So for me, fatherhood was very simple. I need to be present and I need to be able to show you love with the same hand that I give you restraint with. And then as I kept unpacking and unlearning the stuff that I had to unpack and unlearn, lessons of fatherhood would just drop organically, right? So the most recent lesson, once again, was my bonus daughter, Marley, her father lives in the same town, same city as we do right now. And yet she never sees him. And he doesn't make an attempt. He'll get her hopes up for coming and just doesn't show.
Declines come to church.
Declines her phone calls, blah, 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 right? And me and my wife had a breakdown this morning. I was like, baby, it's unfair that my 7-year-old princess has to deal with adult situations that she didn't even bring on herself.
Yeah.
But then at the same token, she said, well, baby, now this is the time where daddy has to step up and do what you do. Yeah. Because the other one let her down. You got work to do.
Yeah.
And it sparked. Okay, got it. As unfair as this situation is, and yes, it's unfair. It's not unfair to me to have to step into the role of daddy because I've been doing this for so long, right? And for my kids, especially my daughters, presence equals daddy. I can bring all 3 of my girls, including the newborn who's over here getting fed right now, and they'll all tell you, daddy is Superman, daddy. And I don't do anything special. I'm just here intentionally. So
I think, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just like, man, I think that's the gem right there is that we try to complicate fatherhood. And at the end of the day, man, you know, it's all about being present.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to be perfect. Like, there's no such thing as being perfect. When you look up I looked it up. I looked up the definition of fatherhood. Literally, the definition is the state of being a father.
That's it.
Like, and then I looked up what's a father, a man in relation to his children.
Yes.
Like, you simple. Have a relationship. Like that's all it is. Like we're not trying to overcomplicate this, y'all.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
all fatherhood is being present. Now, are there right or wrong things? Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, your mom did some things, my mom did some things, my dad did some things. Like, but they did what they knew.
Right.
And so now it's on us to unlearn those things.
Yes.
And now let's do what we know. Right.
Yes.
And I had a great quote is the only way your kid spells fatherhood is with time.
You took that from me.
No, I didn't. I just came
I
up
posted
with
that on IG.
but that's the only way our kids. Oh no, it was the only way your kids spell love is time.
Yeah, yes.
The only way your kids spell love is time. And so fathers, it's not that difficult. And I try to make sure that we teach, like, man, it's intentional time, not just time. You know, your kids sitting in the same room and you're not talking to them or interacting with them. It has to be some intentional time that you're spending with your kids. Go to the park, walk around in the neighborhood. Yeah. Like, you don't have to spend a lot. And I stress that because sometimes we think we have to do or buy something in order for our kids to feel the love. And it's not that. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to go to Disney World. You don't have to go to Six Flags. You don't even have to take a road trip. All you have to do is go to the grocery store with them together. You know what I mean? Another thing that I heard that I said I wanted to kind of speak up to was forgive your upbringing.
Yes.
Forgive in order for you to reach your purpose. Father, sometimes something that's keeping you from your purpose as a father is the way that you were raised, the way that you were brought up, the way your daddy left you, the way your mama treated you, the way your auntie treated you. Got to let that go so that you could really get into your purpose as a father, if that makes sense. So is it tough? Is it difficult? Absolutely. But if you don't let that pass the way that you were brought up, if you don't let that go, it's hard for you to find your purpose in fatherhood, not along with all the other chaos that's going around you trying to be a father, if that makes sense.
But bigger than that, if you don't do the painful work of unlearning and unpacking your trauma, your kids are going to have to unlearn and unpack your trauma through their lives.
Yeah.
And I refuse to add more trauma to what my kids already got to go through as being Black people in America. So first and foremost, there's trauma in being Black, right? Let's understand that.
Yeah. Let's just get that. That's understood.
There's trauma in being Black and young and a boy or a girl in America, because you go from being cute and cuddly to a threat. So let's understand, being Black brings a whole set of trauma that you didn't even ask for. Why would I add my unpackaged trauma to the list of stuff you got to carry? I wouldn't do that. So if for no other reason, if you unlearn and unpack your trauma, you can now get to the place where your kid, and do it in front of your kids. Please. My kids have seen me cry. My kids have seen me go through all this. My grandma died last year due to COVID. I couldn't see her. I couldn't get to the nursing home. I saw her at the funeral, and it killed me. Like, I saw you Thanksgiving, you're now dead. Like, wait, what? And I can't see you? This doesn't make sense. But then when I got to the point of breakdown, I tried to get away from my kids so they didn't see it. Like, I don't want them to see these tears. My kids tracked me down in the house. I was in the man cave, in the basement.
I'm say you ain't got no praying closet, no nothing. They gonna.
I'm in the man cave. I got music playing. I got sad. They came down there, put me on the couch, and sat next to me and wiped my face until the tears were gone.
Wow.
Because my kids understand that when they're the ones crying, that's my job. So now when daddy's in it, I got to be there to help daddy.
Yeah.
My wife tried. I pushed her off, and she gave my kids, like, you can't push me away. I'm here.
Yeah.
Either you gonna cry with us or you gonna stop crying. What you gonna do?
Hey, Kev, hold that point real quick though, because I know there's some people out there that hear Josh's kids in the background. I'm not apologizing for that. And I ain't even gonna try to edit it. I heard a mama snap back there a couple minutes ago, and I was laughing in my head.
So when we have our meetings or our podcasts or stuff like that, normally the kids are quiet, but it's lunchtime here.
Yeah.
So now I'm hungry. We find grapes.
We ain't apologizing for that.
We ain't apologizing for none of that. This dad's on purpose. We dads. We know what's going on. What I was about to say was, I know a lot of dads are listening to this, and a lot of us have not recognized that we have trauma in our life. Like, bro, what you may be sitting in guilt, shame, hurt, despair right now. That's not normal, bro.
Right.
Bro, that's not normal. That's trauma. That's something in your life has shifted, and you have never gotten to recover from that. And so we have to, number one, recognize, like, it's unfair. I get it. It's unfair. We're black men. It's unfair that we have to carry that trauma of America on our backs, but recognize that it actually is trauma. So you just being black, you know, that's okay. We can build from that, but just recognize number one. But watch this. After you recognize it, believe it or not, your kids see you differently and stronger when you're able to go through it. And that's what I heard from you, bro. Was like, I had to recognize that I have trauma in my life. And listen, it's not just some easy it's packed on generational curses, things that I'm dealing with. And then number two, maybe my wife couldn't help me, but even if I'm just a little bit vulnerable, my children will be there to support me and not think of me as a weak person, but know that I'm human and that I'm trying my best. So fellas, no matter where you are, where you're sitting right now, I just believe that you should know, like, man, there's help for you. There's hope for you. Like, this is not, man, due to COVID, we had to sit back, and I guess this is where my heart is right now. I had to step back from work, and I'm sitting here thinking, if I didn't have a steady income coming in, I have lost 2 weeks worth of income, and have a kid, and that's a traumatic experience. But if I didn't have the support and the people around me to help lift me up and for me to talk through this stuff, then I would never be able to be okay. So it's not that I'm abusing or talking bad to my kids, but I'm not giving my kid a fair share because I'm not healing. I'm not doing what I need to do so that I can turn around and say, even though we don't have water, we gonna go outside and throw these snowballs, even if we just, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying.
And you hit on something, right? Every black man who's under the sound of our voices right now understand two things. You are covered in trauma, known or unknown, because you made it through a pandemic. So let's not forget, you lived through COVID.
Yes.
You have trauma, and COVID's still not over yet. We're still going through this.
Yeah.
You have trauma. Okay. Second off, therapy's free right now because of COVID. So if you had no other reason to get up and fix it, you do now.
Yeah.
And if you don't fix it for yourself, cool. I'm okay with that. Fix it so your babies can know that when they see trauma, they know how to go get it fixed. And they know what a therapist look like, and that we can break this taboo of mental health being a thing. Like that, outside of being a dad, outside being an Army vet, I did 6 years of therapy before I got with my wife for PTSD, for all the other stuff that was just on my plate, for having to unpack my mama, having to do all the shadow work, as we call it, so that my people didn't have to do it with me. And guess what? I still got more to do. I'm constantly unpacking. I'm constantly unlearning. Me and my wife, my wife constantly holds me accountable. Baby, look, what you just said to these babies was wrong. I'm gonna rock with you. You my husband. I love you. But that ain't right. So what we gonna do? And that's the thing. I hold her, she holds me. And accountability is key. That's why me and Kev are in the group. We're in a group of brothers to do one thing and one thing only. Uplift each other so that in these moments where we can't go to no one else, I got a brotherhood a phone call away.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. Yeah. But black men don't subscribe to the ideology of community.
Hey, Josh, don't exclude me because I'm in the group too. I just participate.
So I'm with you though. Like I'm with you. I was talking to Kev and DJ the other day about the amount of people, and we're not going to make this about the group, right? But the amount of people in this group who are constantly asking but never uplifting. And it got to me. I can't lie. It took my wife to stop me from getting out the group. I was like, babe, I'm done with this. I'll organically grow with my voice. I'm good. Like, baby, you need those brothers and they need you. And I was like, but baby, look at this. And of course I didn't show her what the post looked like. But I'm like, baby, everybody asking and nobody uplifting.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I love about Kev, I can post every time I post, I never put it in the group. I never do. Why? Because I'm not going to add to the 80 other people doing the same thing. Like I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Kev always, hey, I love this, bro. And I don't have to ask. I got 10 of y'all who do it organically. I don't ask for it, and I pay it forward because we're supposed to.
Yeah.
And I was like, this group is starting to get to a point, and we're gonna get off this group in a second. This group is getting to a point where we're all asking and no one's putting in.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's what this is for, we got this wrong. We got this all the way wrong. Yeah. My job is
here's the thing though. I think Kev wants to jump in here, and I know it because I know Kev's jump in face. but here's the thing, man. I think it's good the way it started.
Yes.
And then it created that intentionality, the idea of it. But you're not meant to have a group chat with 60 people.
At all.
Like your group chat should be like 5 max. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you find those people that you rocking with, and then you break off. And ain't nothing wrong with that. And I'm not even talking about the group. I'm just talking about in life. Like,
right.
Kev, go ahead. What you doing?
Because I get excited. Y'all know I get excited because when we're talking about manhood and what you just described, Josh, was that's what male communities, that's what happens in male communities, right? What happens is there's one or two or three men who's like, man, we gotta have something like this.
Right.
We need to be doing this. And so what happens is the leaders are pouring out and men are recognizing they need. And so they're like, oh, I didn't know I had feelings. I didn't know I had this and that. And then you're like, yeah, well, let me give you some more. Let me give you some more. And like, we've been giving you more and more and more for 7 months, but you never stopped and said, you know what?
Let me pour out.
I've learned so much. How can I step into a role and not do, man, listen, you cannot be KB. You can't get up on here talking about what up? Like that, that's me. You know what I mean? You know, but seriously, that's me. And I think sometimes, because even in that group, I even found myself questioning, okay, so where is my skill set in this area? Because you know, I am a leader and I want to pour out, but the things that now that we have grown into, I can't find my spot. And so what happens in the male community when you can't find your spot,
you separate.
Man, forget them. I'm gonna go do my own thing. You know what I mean? They don't want. But even as leaders, men, I'm talking to us men because I think other cultures got it right and we kind of missed it somewhere. But even the good shepherd looked for the lost sheep. And for men, when leaders or good people start to fall off, we never go to that person and be like, hey, bro, what can we do to support you? How can we bring you back into the fold? How can we support? What is it that you can't do what I do? Right. What is it about you, or what is it that you're doing that I can help uplift you and build you up to keep you in the fold? Hey, man, this is a conglomerate. But at the same time, I think we lose the community when we grow so big, but not have enough people to grow up in the growth. And so, fellas, we got to get off the milk. You know what I mean? And not get off the milk as be a man, let me punch you in your chest, because we know that doesn't work. Right. We're talking about get off the milk as to step into some kind of responsible role within your community. Step into some kind of responsible role in your family. Like, bro, you go to church every Sunday, but how many times have you held communion in your own house? How many times have you just prayed with your family by yourself? How many times? Heavy. You know what I mean? Like, we have to, and not to say that that's what a man is supposed to do, because I know a lot of women who are implementing these things in their house and the villages not taking interest. And so as the community, we have to really build up and get into what the black community can look like, not just a bunch of crabs trying to get out. And you know, we hear that all the time. All the time. Crabs and just trying to get out, and they keep pulling you down. But how can I pull you up and help you stand on your own 2 feet? How can I pull you up and support you? So when I am down, I can say, man, Josh, I'm on here today, but bro, fill up my cup. And you like, I'm gonna pray for you real quick. You know what I mean? Right now, we can get you moving to the next level. So I believe fatherhood, community, black men community, we have to really start banding together and uplifting each other in our spaces. Right. So all could win. And I just think that's one. I mean, I'm sorry if I went on a tangent, but no, you good. But you said we need to get to a place within all the community. And this is not about that group, it's about just community, right? Yeah. We need to get to a place within community where as soon as somebody pours into me, I'm now emptying out my cup for somebody else. Yeah. And that's key. Every time a brother hey, what's your cup looking like? It's full. Okay, cool, bet. Stop. I need you to pour into somebody else then. Yeah. In the moment that we start as men realizing that my job is to pour into you as they pour into somebody else, then everybody's cups get full. And then everybody's running over to the point now where okay, it's a different conversation. Okay, hey, we all full, so who can we feed now? All right, let's get our black women involved. Let's get our children involved. Let's get other people in the community. Because realistically, until we are full ourselves, who are we good to? Yeah, man. Who are we?
But here's the thing, man. I'm gonna make it real simple because I know it's somebody out there. I feel like Carl off of the Secret to Success podcast. Like I got to break it down so like people not missing it, because I know there's some people out there like, okay, well, how do I fill up someone's cup? Like, what does that look like? Right. I'm gonna give you a real quick example. Josh, I don't know where you are, but me and Kevin, we're both in Dallas, Texas, Dallas area. And if you paid attention to the news, like we just had this bad winter storm, right? And everybody's losing power. Everybody's, losing water, cell service. I couldn't send a text. Bro, I couldn't get on IG for like 4 or 5 days, which ain't no thing. But I'm just saying, like, I couldn't even do that. Like, that's how bad my service was. Kev, he didn't lose power. He didn't lose water. I lost power like twice for like an hour or two. But thankfully, I was on the hospital grid, so I never lost power, and we never lost water. And so what does it look like to fill up someone's cup? Well, my wife, her best friend, they're a family of 4 as well. And they lost their power for like 2 days, and it was like 40 degrees in the house. And like we just moved. Like, I've been in this new house 2 days. But before this, we were in a townhouse, 1,500 square feet. Didn't even think twice. We're like, hey, y'all come stay with us.
Come through.
Don't even worry about it. Y'all come stay with us. And then my brother-in-law, their pipe busted in their kitchen. So they lost their water and their electricity was gone. And so my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they were like, we'll stay in the house, but can your niece come stay with us? Bet. Bro, there's 9 of us in a 1,500 square foot townhouse, 4 kids under 3. Like, just making yourself available to help somebody else. So they got power back and they got water back in 2 days. Well, guess what? The day they got home, her brother-in-law, his pipes exploded in his house. So now they're displaced. And so after we just helped them, now they're set up so they can fill somebody else's cup.
Yes.
That's it right there, bro.
It ain't that complicated, y'all.
It's not at all.
Mind you, I used to live in White Settlement before I moved back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
That's a Kev area. That's Kev area.
I had a 4-bedroom house in White Settlement.
Kev over there on the other side.
I was a manager at Verizon out there in Burleson, so I drove from White Settlement to Burleson every day. And then I was preaching at a church in Dallas. And my brother was like, it was a drive. My brother was like, hey, man, your wife's not here. I said, excuse me? Mind you, I'm single. I have no responsibilities. Outside of my oldest child, I have nothing. He said, your wife's not in Dallas. I said, what? Yeah, the woman God has, she's not here.
Wow.
What are you talking about? Like, I'm not looking for a wife. I'm chilling. I'm single. I got my own crib. I got a daughter. I'm cool. Like, God has a wife for you. She's not here. Okay, cool.
Who told you this?
TJ, my brother TJ. So he's still in Dallas right now. I just checked on him. They lost power for a little bit. I sent some money to get groceries or whatever whenever the stores get it back. But
bro, they wipe clean.
Yeah, I saw the picture of Walmart. It was like the stuff you don't want is all this left. But oh yeah, we got anchovies. I don't want that. Like, no, right? I don't want eat that. But I was going through Instagram. This is before Millionaire Daddy, so it's my personal page. Got like 2,000 followers or whatever. I'm just going through Instagram, and my wife was the first 6 feeds on Instagram.
Wow.
I said, okay, something wrong with Instagram. I refresh it. 6 new pictures pop up.
Wow.
I said, wait, what is this? what is this? So I click on the page. I realized that I went to high school with my wife. I didn't realize from them pictures who it was. It's like, oh, that's the girl I was in love with freshman year. Okay, cool, whatever.
He sent out that, hey, big head.
Yeah, exactly. I jumped straight in the DM, and she curved me. Oh, I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin now, where I grew up at. So she threw the curveball and just did not respond. I was like, all right.
I left you on red.
I said, God, did not respond. And so I was like, God, I don't know what this is, but if it's meant to be, you got to make it happen, because obviously my attempts ain't good enough. God said, go to Facebook. Go to Facebook? What do I go to Facebook? I don't even go on Facebook like that. I go to Facebook, I write her on there, and then she responds. And now 2 years later, we're married with a 4-month-old and doing this thing, right? So I said all that to say, understand that purposes as fathers supersede where we are, and they speak to where we need to be, right?
Yeah.
I never saw I love kids, but I never saw myself raising 2 bonus kids. I never saw myself having another baby. I had a horrible baby mama situation at one point in time. Shout out to her, because we co-parent great now, but
hey, we good. Yeah. It was back in the past.
P.S. co-parenting, that episode's coming up with the homie Kevin Meeks. But anyways, we're gonna talk about that.
We got a co-parenting and a blended family situation where she imparts it to the kids that aren't hers as we impart, and so it flows beautifully, right?
Yeah,
but I never saw this. I was done. I was like, God, it's me, you, and my baby. I'm done. Women ain't it for me. I'm tired. I don't want no more of that trauma. I don't want it. And then to realize that when you do it right, and you do it right, and I'm not gonna say God has to be in the center of everybody's life, right? That's a choice. I choose God, right? But when you do it right, it's so easy.
Yeah.
My wife, I don't know how many married couples, because we're in groups with married couples. Oh, this marriage thing is hard. How?
Bro, come on.
No.
There's nothing.
No. Marriage is hard, but that's because I'm stubborn.
It's you though, right? So
I'm self-aware though. I'm self-aware.
I promise you, our foundation is so tight that whatever the situation is, my wife just looking at me and says, okay, so what are we gonna do to get over it? Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot. We had the baby and she wanted to take 90 days of leave to just rest and relax and get her body right. Cool, I support that. That also means you don't get paid for 90 days. So now there's 90 days that my income is sustaining the whole crib. Yeah. I got a mortgage, cell phone bills, insurances. Okay, cool, whatever. I said, baby, we serve a God. We're going to make a way. It's not a problem. Do your thing. When I promise you, even though she did not bring an income home, we had too much money at certain points where we didn't understand where it was coming from. Random checks being deposited into our accounts that we didn't know was coming. Random checks in the mail like, hey, here's your insurance rebate back. Wait, I didn't know I had one. What is this? Bro. When you do it, this is easy. This is the easiest relationship I've ever been in my life. All I had to do was get out my own way.
Yeah. But hold up. I want to know something real quick.
Okay.
What was your message in Instagram? What'd you send in the DMs?
What did I send in the DMs?
Because apparently it didn't work.
No, Instagram didn't work. Facebook worked.
No, I know. What did you say in Instagram? Because I'm trying to help somebody out.
So the Instagram DM, she was at a wedding.
Flirting, cover your date.
And I was like, so you went to the wedding by yourself? Why I didn't get an invite? Type situation.
I wonder why you didn't get a response.
I know, right? Yeah. I know, right? I get it.
On Instagram, I let everybody follow me, so I didn't know who you were. Like
she didn't know that we went to school together.
Facebook is only people I literally know. So
right.
you were on my Facebook. It was like, okay, wait, I must know this
from somewhere, right? So Facebook got me, and I did the same corny line on Facebook. To be honest, it was the same wedding. It was the same thing. I just copy and pasted to Facebook, and it worked. I was like, okay.
My boy said, she know who I am. Hey, what's up? She know who I am. She knew me way back when. You know me.
True story. So she was the DJ at our freshman dance. Our freshman high school. So she used to have her turntable. She still got them. She used to be the DJ. She used to get it in. And I told my best friends, my boys, I'm like, yo, I'm going to get her. Mind you, at the time, I'm like 5'11", 300 pounds. She's like 5'2", $120 in a track star. Like, she ain't looking for me at all. She wasn't looking at me. She wasn't looking at me for all. I'm telling you. She was into older dudes. I wasn't nowhere near the radar. You hear me? Bro. So I'm like, I bet. And then my boys like, go holler at him. Like, nah, we ain't doing it. It took me 14 years.
Wow.
To get my wife.
Wow.
Bro, do you know I knew my wife. We went to college together. We known each other and been close friends, close friends for 12 years. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew we liked each other. Like our friends' parents knew we liked each other. Matter of fact, there's a picture out there, and it came up once we got married. It was the first year we met. It was our sophomore year in college, and because she used to playfully call me her husband. Mm-hmm. And it's just like
it was meant to be.
It was full circle, man. Full circle. Like and what was the holdup? I never asked her out.
Me too. Wow. but we had to have a talk, right? Neither one of us were ready to truly do this thing until we went through life experiences.
If we would have dated in college, we would have broke up.
Yes. Had I shot the shot in high school, we wouldn't be here. Right. Yeah. I had to go through the army. I had to go through heartache. I had to be broke. I had to be hurt before I could really appreciate a woman of her standard. Wow. Yep. And then at that moment, while I was doing my work, she was doing her work. So when it aligned perfectly.
Message.
Yeah, it aligned perfectly.
But Josh, how long did y'all date before you got engaged?
A year.
Okay. Well, and so I'm going somewhere with this because once you do the work,
you know what you want.
It don't take 7 years to date.
It don't.
Bro, my wife and I, we went on our first date April 4th. I proposed August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
We got married the first time. I'm gonna explain in a second. We got married October 26th, October 27th. But what'd she say?
Oh, my daughter's telling on the other daughter. You know.
Oh, okay. But what I'm saying is, so we went on our first date April 4th.
Mm-hmm.
We were married October 27th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you realize like what you want, what you don't want, what you're looking for, how y'all gonna maneuver and all that stuff, like it don't take all that time. Bro, I remember being a month in, I looked at my wife, I said, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what? Mm-hmm. I said, what? I mean, I'm waiting on you. You good? You good? So we started looking at rings.
Mm-hmm.
She went on a mission trip. She came back. I said, let's run it. Yeah. And that's where I'm at, man. I'm good. My cup's full.
Right. And so for me, right, our first date was a breakfast date because she was a principal at the time, and I was a manager still working for Verizon at the time. And we went on a breakfast date, and at the first thing out of my mouth is, I was like, you know, you're gonna be my wife, right? First thing at the first date, I told her, she right here. She'll tell you I'm lying. I told her, you gonna be my wife. I laughed. She laughed at my face, and then literally 6 months later looked at me and said, okay, you got to cut all your hoes off now. I was like, no. I said, wait, what? I was like, I didn't see, here's the difference. I didn't come into this with any.
Yeah.
All my eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what I was getting myself into and what I wanted. Mm-hmm. But after we got serious, she's like, you got a year to marry me. I don't need that. So
what you doing this Saturday?
Right?
I don't need no year. What's good? So we made it and I made her wait it was a little longer than a year. It was New Year's Eve when I asked the question. And I made her wait because she wanted something loud. And so my wife is used to being, for a lack of better words, privately loved but publicly shamed.
Oh, wow.
Where the dude she's with won't publicly praise her. If you look at my Instagram, she's everywhere, right? Yeah. And it's because I love her, yes, but it's because it's what she needs. Because every dude before me hid her from the world. So when I proposed, when I proposed, I made sure it was public. It was loud. It was in front of our closest friends, but also like 800 other non-important people. We was at a little party, and I was like, I'm gonna do it right here. Yeah. And did it. Everybody knew it was coming but her. And well, she knew because my daughter opened her mouth because my daughter wanted me to get the rings. Daddy got a ring for you.
Can't hold a secret to save her life.
Not at all.
Oh man.
You hear me? Nothing. It's like, nope, you can't know. But, I had to do it because it's what she needed, but I had to show her she was worth the public appraisal. I need you to know that my love for you is so loud, everybody can know, right? Because I was just be quiet and intimate little restaurant, get on the knees. And she's in hindsight, she would have loved that more. But you asked for public, I'm gonna give you public. This is what you asked for. But that also lends into like how we talked about love languages earlier, Kev, and knowing what the people, including your kids, need. Yeah. Everybody's love language in my household is different. All of it. Yeah. And keep in mind, my wife is not affectionate at all. She's become that for me because it's part of my love language. Yeah. I don't like to clean and do chores, but it's her love language is acts of service. So let me take this off your plate so you can know I love you. Right?
Right, there you go.
My daughters, Marley, all of them really are time. They just want me. And I can tell when it gets bad because they start to fight over me. Okay, wait. I need some time. Come on, let's figure this out. We're going through that right now. Marley's like getting in trouble on purpose so she can get some kind of attention. I don't care what it is. I need attention. I will jump off these stairs and hit my head so that you can yell at me so I can be seen. I need attention.
Man, wait. Stop before we go any further because, man, we just dropping so many nuggets. My mind
is about to shut it down.
I'm like, hold on, man. But watch this. I want to go back. I'm going to go back just a little bit because we talked about, when the man figures out what he wants. And I think, and then you said we go through pain. Fellas, stop putting yourself in more pain. Like, you already know, you've already been through so many women. You've already been through so many relationships. Like, like at some point,
come on, Pastor.
Level the bar yourself. Like, dude, I don't want to deal with no nagging chick. I don't want to deal with, and like that's okay. You know what I mean? And I think we have to get past the sexual part so we can start thinking about the.
Stop right there. Say that again. And I'm telling you, our brothers got this issue with wanting a girl who looked like this, or her body shaped like this, or she wears heels every day. I don't know how many brothers I done ran through on Clubhouse and hey man, how'd you get to your point in your marriage? What are you looking for? It's the only question I ask. What are you looking for? Man, I want about 5'5", a red bone. Stop. You're going to fail automatically.
Yeah.
You are basing your lifelong love decision on physical attributes?
Come on, man.
Let me talk about Josh. Every ex before, I had 2 exes, but every ex before my wife was yellow, had a fatty, and wore heels every day. All of them. The mother of my child is yellow with a fatty, and she that's exactly what my type was, and they all hurt me the same way.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to go past your type and get looking at different criteria.
Yep. Well, it's not just your type, because it's okay to have we all bias, right? It's okay
to have a preference, but don't let
your driving force. And
don't miss out on Mrs. Forever, shawty, because she ain't got no booty.
Yeah.
Guess what? Old girl with the booty, it's gonna be like this eventually.
And old girl with the booty comes with a different set of criteria that you might not even hit.
Come on, man.
So what I'm
what offering play that?
My wife came with criteria that was made specifically for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that's the beauty in finding the one that's meant for you. Because as a man, you can marry anything. The issue is, are you marrying what's meant and strategically made for you?
Yeah. And the way we do that, and the way we do that is to stop jumping into these relationships with the hurt and pain that we have, and wait until you get someone who's going to love you for you. Stop. The moment that you realize that, man, she wants me to change, that's the moment that you need to recognize that, number one, you need to love yourself enough to say, this is who I am. And number two, be able to allow them to love you for who you are. And if they're not meeting that criteria, fellas, it's funny we having this conversation because we usually have this type of conversation with a woman, right?
Right.
Stop dating out. Well, now it's like, guys, we need to start raising up the bar and the level.
Right.
Stop going through this hurt and pain so we can find the one that we love, because it happened to me too. When I found myself in a situation that wasn't good for me, my wife came along, but it was different. My first date was like, listen, for 8 years, this is where I've been. This is what I've done. This is what I don't want that no more. This is what I'm
all on the table.
Yeah, I laid it all on the table. I think we sat there for 2 hours. I was like, listen, this is where I've been and where I'm going. But at the same time, I wouldn't have known that and experienced that if I didn't take time for me to love me, to develop me so that I can have purpose. Listen, fellas, you cannot have purpose with junk. You can't have purpose with luggage. You cannot have purpose. Like, you have to deal with your own junk, your own luggage, so that your purpose can shine through as who you are as a man, as well as who you are as a father. Or and for you fathers who are about to be fathers, who's stuck in this, how do I become a father, or what is fatherhood like? It's taking who you are as a man. It doesn't change. It just adapts to this new role, so that you can love on your kids and then be the best man that you can be.
And you said something right. If a woman is asking you to change, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not automatically a no-go, right? And here's why. My parenting style is my wife's. So this new refreshed learning of how to be a parent came from her pulling up the blinds and saying, baby, wait, you slave parenting. Let me show you something. And she had to give me references for me to do the work. So, oh, wait, dang. But here's the difference. Requesting me to change and giving me the tools to educate myself to enforce the change is different.
Yeah.
If a woman is you need to change this, but you're not giving me any reason or even an understanding as to what needs to change and why.
Yeah.
Understand, you need to look at that. My wife didn't say, baby, you need to change. She said, let me show you something different. That's her favorite phrase in the world to give me. Hey, baby,
something different.
We have a naked talk. Yeah, I want to show you something different. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, no, she finna pull out a book. We finna have a talk about something.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Always a book.
She's the reason, and you hear in the background, it's not always a book. It's always a book. It's always a book. The last time I heard that, you need to read Bell Hooks, but let me show you why. They gave me that smile. Here we go. Read that. And yes, but she didn't force the change. She enabled me to make the change.
Amen.
Fellas, no one can change us unless we do the work to change ourselves.
Yeah, man.
So if she's not trying to educate you or uplift you so you can do it yourself,
uplift.
We have a whole different set of questions to go through after that. Like, nah, bro, we got to talk. So yeah, you hit on that. Change is necessary, right? And she changed for me too, all the time, right? When we got together, she was like the least affectionate person in the world. It was trash. I ain't gonna lie to you. I come visit her, she give me one kiss on the cheek, and that was all I got. Bro, I'm like, what is this? You better love on me, damn it! Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? I don't want this. But then I had to realize that my wife was a principal. So from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., it's work.
Yeah.
When I come over at 8 o'clock, I came over right away and cleaned the house, cleaned the dishes. And I didn't live with her, I had my own crib. Yeah. But I knew what you were facing raising 2 kids and being a full-time principal and single mommy.
Yeah.
And then me doing that opened her to, okay, wait, he doing something that I like that I didn't even tell him I like yet. He told me he want affection. I'll figure it out. Yeah. A year and a half, 2 years later, she won't leave me alone because the affection is there. And I don't complain because I like it, right? But it changes.
That's a whole.
Man, let me go do these dishes real quick.
That's a whole nother show right there, bro.
Hey, I don't even know what to title this episode.
Man,
you just tell it. Daddy Talk 101. That's all this is.
There you go, right there, bro.
Daddy Talk 101.
This is Daddy Talk. That's all this is. There ain't no rhyme or reason to this. We just shooting the breeze as daddies because this is community. This is necessary. If we can get 1,000 brothers to do this on a weekly basis, fatherhood as a whole would have a whole new light.
You're right about it, bro.
We don't get into these places to do this.
You know, we can have 10 people on this podcast.
I'm just saying.
I don't want 10 people on here, but I'm just saying we can.
I'm saying we can do 2 or 3 other fathers and have a party. I'm with it. You know me. I'm here.
Hey man, I gotta get out of here because I gotta go have some daddy time with with the kids and blah 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 blah. But before we get out of here, and here's the problem when you let 2 preachers talk. You don't know how long they're gonna talk. Oh, Josh.
Yes, sir.
I know you gave a whole bunch of gems and nuggets and jewels and things like that, but what's one other thing that you would say to some dads out there?
The biggest gem that I can give to any father, and mind you, my demographic is Black dads, right? So let me start with that. I talk to all fathers. We got white brothers too. It's okay, right? I talk to all races, but for me, 2 things. Number 1, Black fathers. Number 1, listen to Black women. Okay. Black women, especially if you have daughters, Black women are going to teach you a thing that you are going to be completely ignorant to in getting to reach your daughters. I have 3 of them, and my wife is constantly having to show me her perspective of what she went through so I can prepare and protect my daughters from what they're going to go through. So number 1, listen to Black women. Number 2, do the mental health work necessary for you to be 100% present in the lives of those you serve. And that also means the community you serve. You cannot be 100% present when you're 30% yourself because you ain't unpacked and unlearned and did the work to do what you got to do to be in the place.
Yeah, that's work. KB, what you got, man?
You got to do the work. This fatherhood work is work. Okay, I told you my marriage was easy. This fatherhood stuff is work. It's fun. I love it. It's still work. But if I'm not 100% okay here, they get less of me, and that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
So do whatever work you need to do. And I promise y'all, therapy work don't mean it's a therapist. Therapy work is what we're doing right now. Get brothers who are truly, truly interested in the betterment of you. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, man.
And the rest will happen organically.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done preaching for today.
No, you good, man. KB, where you at?
Man, as always, just talking to the fathers all around. Listen, I always am focused on being intentional and being on purpose. I'm always talking about being intentional and being on purpose. Be intentional about who you are as an individual, fathers. Like we always carry that title as a father, but forget that we're a man. We work this certain job. We're a husband. We're somebody's son. We're somebody's homeboy. Be intentional about who you are as an individual. Be intentional about who you are as a father. The next thing, be on purpose. Like be on purpose about what the things that you're going to do and the things you're going to be about. Like that's one of the conversations I had this morning with my baby girl. Like you got all these gifts and talents, but how are you being on purpose? Like are you intentionally putting effort into being a good man? Are you intentionally putting in the effort to be a good father? Are you intentionally putting the effort to be a good co-parent? Are you intentionally putting in the effort to be a good husband? So we just really need to be intentional about who we are as individuals and be on purpose about it. Put in the effort to be that person that you really want to be. And as always, I love each and every one of y'all.
I love how neither one of y'all listen. I said one thing, but I appreciate y'all.
You know, ministers don't never listen,
right?
I can tell you 30 minutes later, the benediction finna come and keep talking,
right. Now I'm finna get out of here, y'all. Y'all just stay with me just a little bit longer.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done. We got one more verse.
Oh, hey, y'all, man. I appreciate everybody rocking with us, y'all. Go to tlcbrand.com, tlcbrand.com. You see Kev with the swag on. You see me with the dad shirt, man. We really do this. Dads, fatherhood, over everything, man. Grab your swag. We'll see y'all next time. Till next week, be good, be great. Take care, y'all.